who will talk about diversity and reaching out to communities. He himself has managed to get rid of some of these communities, and I'm not talking about communities defined by pigmentation or language. I'm talking about diversities of interest and so on. And they tell me my time is up. And well, maybe the AI's time is up if we don't rectify that.
Thank you. David Combs, and after that, Gail Goldman.
Yeah, I'll be quick here. Two things. One, about this racism we keep hearing about. From a listener's point of view, through the earphones or through the speaker, I hear no racism at all. But inside the station, you hear all these accusations back and forth. Well, we have to think back to McCarthy, for instance. He managed to get himself into great power by accusing people of being a communist. AIPAC, if you mention the thing about Israel, you are now anti-Semite. Same with Dershowitz. And the Bush, if you ask questions about 9/11 or anything, or the war, you are one of them, you're a traitor. So this may be the same thing.
To see the way WBAI and the Pacific National Board polarize around issues of race. The United States is infected with the social pathology of racism at every level of functioning, and this same social pathology has been consistently mirrored throughout Pacifica. I have come to see that the failure to acknowledge and confront racism has created monumental barriers to building progressive movements in this country. I believe it is imperative that we seriously take on the vital task of working to become a truly anti-racist organization. This means ongoing training at every level, some system of accountability to communities of color, and where necessary, changes in staffing and programs. I am very afraid that if we do not do this very soon and very seriously, we will self-destruct despite all of the other wonderful work that we do. And this country cannot afford to lose one of the last places left where the truth cannot be bought and sold. Thank you.
Next speaker is Sheila Monica. After her, Walter Prasad.
Hi, my name is Sheila Malaka. I'm a listener from Rockland County. I'm also a producer with the Women's Record at WBAI. I'd like to know how many people here listen to the radio at 5 a.m.?
5 a.m.?
5 a.m.
That's early in the morning.
Yes, it is, and very few people. I would like to propose, I think this is true nationwide in Pacifica, this is an excellent time slot for Spanish language. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is prime time in Spanish radio across the nation. And it would not take much out of our listening audience to give this time to our Latino, Mexicano, Chicano, and Indigenous programming. I would advocate that strongly. I also think that we need more Black programming and more Asian programming. Of course, 2 out of 3 people in this world are Asian. We have 1 hour of Asian programming on WBAI. Probably that's true citywide. The same thing goes for Africa. An entire continent gets 1 hour on WBAI. I believe Ireland gets 2 hours, but a little smaller than Africa. We have 5 stations. We have 5. At each station, I don't know how many programmers there are, producers. 200. We have perhaps 1,000 producers in Pacifica. Now that sounds like a lot of people, but I think we need to actually double the number of producers. And the reason is, I've just done a very impromptu look at what quote-unquote sells on BI. It's specials, okay? Investigative journalism, work done by Greg Pallas. We can do that. We can turn, for example, DC into a hotbed of investigative journalists and get all over the U.S. government.
Thank you very much. Next is Walter Prasad, and then after him is Steve Seltzer. Walter Prasad and Steve Seltzer.
My name is Walter Prasad. I'm from Staten Island. I'm still a part of New York City. I am a supporter of WBAI ever since August of 1960. I've witnessed WBAI's problems over the years. Excuse me. Financial problems. The financial problems are seemingly endless, and it has led to the loss of many talented people being laid off from WBAI repeatedly. And we, through periods of fundraising, we have failed to meet our stated goals. I reluctantly come to the conclusion, personally, that the solution to WBAI's problems, financial problems, and the financial problems of the Pacifica network is for WBAI to liquidate its frequency at 99.5, and which can be sold for a very large amount of money, to locate a new frequency in the educational portion of the band, which is where the other stations are located: KPFT, KPFK, KPFA, and WPFW. They are all in the educational portion of the band, and I think this would lead to a long-term solution of Pacifica's financial problems and WBAI's problems. Okay, fine, I'm finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Steve Seltzer, and after that, William K. Watkins.
Hi, my name is Steve Seltzer. I haven't been able to be at your meetings yesterday or the day before, so I can't comment intelligently about that. But I want to congratulate the Pacifica Board, because if you had been following WBAI's example, you would still be trying to get approval for the agenda.
Next is William K. Watkins, and after that, Jane Jackson.
Okay.
Good morning, William here again. And again, I want to thank you for such decorum, at least in your public sessions. I have no idea what goes on behind the closed doors. But I was going to spend my time commiserating over the little leaks that are coming up, like things that were handled yesterday with the election security. But instead, I want to talk about something else. When the Bushies in Washington started talking about identity cards for everybody, I said to myself, this is horrible. You know, I've always wanted to be able to travel this country free with anywhere, walking, hitchhiking, driving, bus, airplane, anything. And I said, that's my right. And I started espousing that here and there. And then I realized that, wait a minute, this is what some of the people here are talking about. This is white skin privilege. Other people aren't free to do that even now. You get stopped and asked for your ID anywhere. And I think that a lot of the white people here, even some others, need to think what's going on for all these other people, black people, Latinos, anybody, Asians. What kind of discrimination is going on? We need to be more sensitive.
Thank you. Jane Jackson. Jane Jackson and Steve Brown.
Good afternoon. I think I heard somebody say the bigger question is, am I leaving? Because between here and there, and where I'm staying, my wheelchair tipped over and all my documents, except my passport, are gone. But I do have something else. Oh, I'd like to make a correction. I was not stuck in an elevator in this hotel. I have not been in an elevator or a bathroom. But I think at the last meeting, I mentioned to you Section 504. A very dear friend printed this off the internet last night. It is the FCC's internal document, 119 pages long, on how they are to implement Section 504. It says, it mentions nothing about how y'all would receive their money or to do the same, but it is the item that I was referring to when I got you to pass unanimously the legislation, and I'm going to give it to Dave. And it also has a copy of the world.
Next speaker is Steve Brown. After him is Arun Nagler.
Good morning. It's often been said, at least on the left, that there's no shortage of available food in the world, only a shortage of political will to distribute it intelligently. I don't think there's a shortage of available money for Pacifica if we use some intelligent ways of going after it. It's been suggested that, on the one hand, we look at underwriting, on the other hand, that we try for a line of credit of several $1 million from various lending organizations. It puts us in debt to organizations that we may not want to be in debt to. I propose instead that we go in debt to our listening audience and maybe float a bond issue. People would be willing to loan Pacifica $100 or $1,000, which they would get back, where they might not contribute as a donation. We have 100,000 listeners, members of Pacifica, an average of $100, that's $10 million. Some would buy a $10 bond, some would buy a $1,000 bond. I think that would be a much better source of raising money than going into debt to large banks or large foundations, no matter how beneficent they might be.
Hi, my name is Arun Agia. Mr. Chair, at no cost to my 3 minutes, I want to compliment you on the gentle but firm, consistent, transparent, and fair way you have conducted these proceedings. Applause. Okay, you can start blocking me now. I have worn a lot of hats in my young life.
Very funny.
And one of them has been as a general manager. When I contrast the way I was treated then with the way the interim general manager at WPAI is being treated day after day, I am horrified. I just came back to the station after an absence of 5 years, so I don't hold a brief for anyone. I don't have the facts to make a judgment. All I know is that's no way to treat a lady, let alone a general manager. I would not be able to sleep at night if I were treated this way. I would dread getting up in the morning. Some quick examples of the contrast between the way I was treated then and the way I see the interim general manager being treated in the station, on the emails, and even right over here, which you control quite nicely. Number one, I had a chair, Rufus Williams, Johnson and Higgins partner, pulled me out of the basement of a group home that I was working out of, brought me to an office at 125 Broad Street, 20 paces from the station, gave me the most beautiful office available, opened up all the corporate privileges, including the executive dining room to me. Whenever he was in town, he used to travel a lot. Whenever he was in town, he would come by and say, Arun, where do you want to go for lunch? And we wouldn't talk business. My vice chairman was Wellington Murrah, owner of the Giants. He was a very eloquent man. One day I had a problem with one of my board members, and I told him about it. He said, Arun, we'll tell him to shape up or ship out. I'm going to do a Julia Roberts at the Academy Awards, just quickly. And he said, we'll hold their feet to the fire. One day I had some really exciting news, but it came late in the night. And I said, I have to tell somebody. The chair was not available, the secretary was not available. I called Wellington Murrah at his home, something nobody ever done. His wife picked up and she said, Voice Hope, he'll talk to you. And he told me, when you have news like this, you call me anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day. Thank you.
Next is Mom Lipton.
I spoke yesterday, and I hope some of my words had some value. No, I really feel that the archives have to be better handled. I mean, it's not the Shays' fault. I mean, it's the nature of life. One of the biggest problems that I've been aware of now is that the N-word is being discussed. And nobody brings up, I almost delayed myself coming because Dick Gregory used to be a member of this group. And I don't hear from him enough or at all. This is a big mistake. And there are other people who work for WBAI, we never hear of them anymore. Some are on QXR and so on. But And of course, some of the people have been expelled, and I don't like that. Gary Knoll and Robert Knight, and they were very valuable people. I felt it was good to have them aboard. One of the things is the N-word, and I think Gregory put out a book with the title using the N-word, and people don't discuss it in terms that it's a horrible word. I don't like it, and as a matter of fact, the whole sequence of how to describe another person's skin color is a terrible problem. And it's all about the humanitarian aspect, Greg, you know. We should address this. I mean, it's mentioned quickly that Dick Gregory used it as the title of his book because he was trying to establish a certain truth, a form of reality, and then say what the new reality should be about people getting along with each other, no matter what their natures or constructions are and so forth. So I say this to everyone, good luck. I like the suggestion of moving the station, some other location, using the money certainly for advertising, and not advertising in a nasty way, but advertising sensitively to reach the world, because there is a lack of thing. Thank you.
Where's the other list that we started? We started a second.
Oh yeah, it's over here. Anybody else want to bring it up? It's only one.
And also, anybody who's not on this list and who hasn't spoken before, if they'd like to speak, we have about 5 minutes, so we have to be fast.
Actually, we'll finish that with this, because this will take up.
Margaret Dominguez. And then Mia. And 3.
Hello, I'm Margaret Dominique. I'm the host of Haiti, the Struggle Continues in WBAI, and I co with the Haiti Collective. What I want to say is I like to present a different picture from the gloom and doom that was presented here this weekend about WBAI. It sort of put a damper on folks that are really working hard to make WBAI what it really stands for. I have to remind myself what really attracted me to come into WBAI. I'm a community person. I've spent a lot of my time, besides trying to make ends meet with my own career as a science teacher, to come and bring community awareness to talk about the problems that we face as a community. And I spend a lot of time coming into WBAI and get very excited. I take it upon myself to try to attack some of the problems that are at WBAI. For instance, I'm someone who will go out and do outreach and bring whoever I meet and give them the grand tour of the station to see this is what we're doing, this is what we're proud of. I will speak to other producers and try to share information. And what I'm here this weekend, a lot of the people that are only focusing on the negative are not actually doing the work. So I like folks to take stock of themselves, and then before they're trying to bring a problem forth, to talk about what they're doing to move the station forward as opposed to pulling it down.
Thank you. Mariano? Dia? Serene? Serene Robert?
Am I the last one?
Down the gates, we don't have to address the board. You're the last person.
Last one. Thank you.
Do something.
And while Dawn is coming up, I just want to say again, I said it already, she's been so incredible at facilitating everything. And not just making it happen, but at every available opportunity, figuring out ways to save listener money. in this otherwise very expensive venue. So we really all owe her a tremendous debt of gratitude. And a pleasure to work with.
Hi, my name is Donna Gates. I'm part of that. I've been with Pacifica for the last 3 years, and this is my second national board meeting. And basically, I want to just say thank you to all board members, all the technical staff, all the managers who work so hard for so long and give so much thought and effort and time to Pacifica and caring for Pacifica. I admire you and I respect you, and I just want to say thank you. Hi, thanks. And I just said this yesterday. Welcome to New York. Sorry about the rain. If I know in advance, way in advance, I can arrange better weather. I have a lot of powers, I've been told. My detractors constantly tell me how powerful I am. I wish some of that could be translated into money or something. But I do want to thank you for the work you do. I realize that working within Pacifica is far from peaceful, and sometimes far from progressive in terms of the forces we have to struggle with inside. But I urge you to not step back from the challenge, but to meet it head on. You have a responsibility. It's not to be taken lightly. It taxes your personal life, your physical health, your mental health. You're here for a year. Do what you need to do here for a year. We don't know who's coming back next year. We don't know who's going to be around next week. Life is a strange thing. But while you're here, when you see something that's wrong, fix it, challenge it. When you hear someone who only has a stream of negative things to say, ask them what their contribution is, both to the negativity and to the product they claim they want to help prepare. Okay? I think I have 10 seconds left. I'm going to yield to William for it. Thanks.
Thank you. I didn't want to say this unless Serena was here. Yesterday she talked about a guy who was insensitive about a holiday that she wanted to observe. And so what about scheduling? If it wasn't me she was thinking of, I was there and I was thinking it, and I'm sorry. We should all be more sensitive.
What was the holiday? It was an African holiday. Thank you very much, everybody. Sharon, I saw you come in. Sharon, did you want to be on the list? You were the only person I saw come in. Did you want to speak? I was going to say maybe if there's more time, it's open it up to other people who came in. Well, we were actually at
I understand you were in closing. I wanted to say thank you, all of you, for traveling to New York. And I too apologize for the weather. And thank goodness that we have a sunny day today. There are so many things I could comment about. And I don't believe it's negative to challenge all of you, to challenge all of us, not to be satisfied with the status quo. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. said, never be satisfied with the status quo. Always agitate, agitate, agitate. It is not a challenge of anyone's competency or dedication to say, there are people out there who cannot be here today. This neighborhood is prohibited to poor people. You can't even buy a can of soda here for less than $1.50. So we should all think about things like that when we arrange our meetings. I would finally like to say a word of welcome to Mr. Guma, and I would just like to say it is not adverse to our mission to promote advocacy. There are people who cannot be here, people on welfare, people, 350,000 people who have been displaced from Louisiana, who have been spread north, east, south, and west, who have been disenfranchised. We have a responsibility to advocate for them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have a pleasant trip back.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and for caring about Pacifica enough to